Unless you've been living on Mars, you'll have noticed our state is gearing up for a deeply bitter and contentious recall battle. But this ain't no ordinary election. So let's find out why. Let's get virtual. A recall election means an electorate can vote to remove an official before their term in office is over, like Arnold Schwarzenegger did with Gray Davis. Registered voters will be asked just 2 questions on the ballot. Do you want to recall the governor? And if recalled, who do you want to replace him with? So here's where the trouble begins. In order to remove Governor Newsom, more than 50% of the voters will have to answer yes to the first question. If they don't, Newsom stays. But if they do, he walks, and the candidate with the highest percentage of votes from the second question, from the stable of contenders, will become the new governor. And Newsom isn't on that list. The idea being, in question 1, he's just been voted out, so it would be weird to vote him back in, right? The most recent poll shows it's really tightly split as to whether Newsom stays or goes. But there are some that think that this kind of recall election is unconstitutional. In fact, there's a lawsuit pending to that effect. First, it argues that if recalled, Governor Newsom should be able to run to replace himself. Secondly, it's possible that as much as 49% of the voters could support keeping Newsom in office by voting no on the recall, in which case the governor would still lose, but then another candidate could win the second question with a much smaller percentage of the vote. Polls show of the 46 recall contenders right now, the leader has just under 20% of the support. And finally, electors who wanted Newsom gone would actually get 2 votes, 1 to remove him and 1 to elect a replacement, versus the 1 vote of those who want Newsom to stay? Not exactly 1 person, 1 vote, is it? In the end, if Newsom loses the recall, his replacer would govern for only about 1 year before having to run again in 2022. The recall election will cost taxpayers nearly $300 million just to turn around and do the election thing all again a year later. Right now, wouldn't that money be better spent on homelessness, COVID, or the mega drought? But that's politics.